story.
This is my story.
This is my story.
This is my story.
Hi, my name is Theresa Dixon, and this is my story. I'm an author, I'm a poet, a director, a producer. I wear many, many hats, and the hat that I want to share with you today is my love for poetry. A while ago, I wrote my own book entitled Take a Look Inside My Heart. It's a book of poetry that comes directly from my life experience. I love to tell and write stories of my life with family members and life's experience. And so that's what I really want to share with you today, my journey through poetry with some of my stories. My family and friends became the background for many of my picturesque poems. And take a look inside my heart, and I just want you to listen to my heartbeat and follow me along on this journey that I'm about to take you on. From my brother who thought that he had it going on as a youngster, didn't care about anything, to my sister who had dealt with drugs, to a cousin who claimed that she would never be an alcoholic like her mom, from an abusive father to my mom, and for me taking care of my kids at my lowest point in life. And all through all those experiences, God has had my back. So I just want to share with you a few of my poems as we go along on this journey. My first poem is entitled, Brother Got It Going On. Oh yeah, brother got it going on with a hustle here and there. No time to carry on, no time to really care. Don't want a job working for the man. That's like putting shackles on brother's hands so they can take it all for child support. He'll pay that when he can. You see, you won't catch brother going out like that because brother is a man. Brother needs his freedom to go and come. He never has to pack. Anything brother needs, brother just carry it on his back. Now don't ask him for nothing. Brother says, you know what I'm about. Brother has to keep on flowing until his flow runs out. Don't worry, he won't starve to death. Whatever he needs, he'll take. Brother has nothing to lose, because brother has nothing at stake. Now he could do time in the joint standing on his head with a roof on top, 3 meals a day, and a cot he calls his bed. He'll use up his family until he falls from grace. Then he'll turn right around and claim they weren't there in the first place. Yeah, brother got it going on. He's a user with style. And just like all the users before, he'll only be around for a while. Now my next poem I want to share with you was a poem I wrote about my cousin. My cousin's mother was an alcoholic all her life, and my cousin, I remember growing up, she always claimed that I would never ever be like my mom. Well, she ended up like her mom, an alcoholic. And this is a poem that I wrote about that. And this poem is entitled, I'm Not Like My Mother. And this is alcohol speaking, so you really need to listen. We started out as casual acquaintance. Being together was no big deal. As long as you were happy with your life, being with me wasn't a priority. Being with me on special occasions was always in moderation. then the floor fell from under your feet. And with every obstacle that came in your life, you found comfort with me. But I'm not like my mother, you said. I helped ease the pain and pressure, you thought. In time, I was the first thing you wanted in the morning and the last thing you wanted to touch at night. I changed your whole personality. Your temper you couldn't control. Your obsession with me soon divided your entire family. I had slowly caused you to lose everything you once had. But I'm not like my mother, you still said. But just like your mother, you don't want to realize I don't take away problems. I just create new ones. But I'm not like my mother, you said. She had been addicted to me for over 40 years, but you didn't think you had a problem. So there was nothing for you to fear. No, you wasn't like your mother holding tight to a bottle of cheap wine. You were different, yeah. See, you could leave me alone anytime. And as you look in the mirror holding me in your hand, you can't help but notice. If you're so different from one another, then why is the reflection in the mirror a reflection of your mother? All right. Now, going into my next phase, it was a period in my life my mom got sick. And my mom was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer in 1988. And she died in 1988, March 22nd. And it was just a very, very hard time for me, very hard time for my whole family. My children at the time were very small, so I still had to be a mom to them while dealing with this grief and stricken of my mother, dying of this. It was a slow death, a painful death for all of us. But I became very, very depressed. I became very angry. I became angry at my father who had abused my mother for half her married life. I became angry with God because it was easier to be angry with God than being angry with family. You have questions that you want answered. Why? And I just went through a whole lot of different stages, but I still had to be there and be strong for my small children at the time. And so these are just some of the poems that I wrote. These are some of the poems that I wrote for my mom, and I just want to share those with you. The first one is called Witness to a Battered Mother. Each blow would sound off in our ears. Every foul word he called out cut us like a knife. With each kick and punch he gave her, left a bruise upon our soul. Be quiet, mustn't cry too loud. As we huddled together in our dark room, we were witnesses to our battered mother. Her cries would echo throughout our bodies. Her blood stain painted a picture of pain in our minds. Her tears burnt in our hearts forever. Shh, be quiet. Mustn't breathe. Mustn't breathe too loud. It will all be over soon. One day I remember passing by my mother's her room after my father had just beat her, and the door was cracked, but I looked inside and her face was all black and blue, blood running from her mouth, and she was actually just sitting there staring in her mirror. And I didn't understand. She just stared, not saying anything, tears just coming down. And I left her there and I went to my room, and this poem just came to me. And the name of this poem is The Woman in the Mirror. I don't recognize the woman in the mirror. The one who keeps staring back at me. Her eyes are black and blue. Blood drips from her nose and cut and bruises all over her face. No, I don't recognize that woman in the mirror. The one with no self-respect. The woman who let you beat her down. She can't be me. I can't stand to look at that woman in the mirror who keeps staring back at me, tears in her eyes, no love left in her heart. She hates herself. Look at what she let you make of her. A scared, frightened child who hides in the corner ready to just ball up and die. Who is that woman in the mirror? Where did she come from? How did she get to this point? She's weak and frail. She says she has no place to go. How can that woman in the mirror stay with a man like that? He abuses her mentally and physically, tells her she's nothing and never will be. Who is that weak woman? She can't be a reflection of me. I would never stay in a situation like that. I would never be boxed in. I would never be closed up and tied down. I'm a free spirit. I love music, dancing, singing. I love to smile. I want a happy family. I want it all. I don't know that woman in the mirror. She looks so helpless. She can't be me. I have dreams. I have hope. I'm going to do things with my life. I would never stay in an abusive relationship. I have more sense than that. She's spineless. She's a spineless woman to let a man do this to her all these years. And he says he loves her. No. I would never let a man do that to me. But her face looks so familiar. I don't know who I see when I look in the mirror. But dear God, don't let that woman be me. And that's a poem I wrote, like I said, as I watched my mom look in the mirror, and I felt something that she may be trying to say or she was feeling at the time. My mother was a beautiful woman. She was the best. She was my best friend, and she passed in '88. But to this day, I miss my mother. I still have dreams about her. And this is another ode to my mom. It's called "The Scent of My Mama." The scent of my mama is like homemade banana pudding and sweet potato pie. Like tiger lilies swaying in the cool breeze, roses full bloom. The scent of my mama is the way she played that piano in church all day Sunday, then up at 6 a.m. to get to work on Monday. Yeah, the scent of my mama gets into your soul and never let go. Jasmine and myrrh, diamonds and gold can't hold a sparkle to the scent of my mama. Laid back and at ease and comfortable with herself, caring, love, and understanding, that's the scent I inhale every day. Oh, the sadness of her passing away. Well, that only lingers on my mind for a while, because the scent of my mama takes over and holds and molds me like a mother cradling her child. Now you say you want more because you never had the pleasure of meeting my mama and experience her scent of life. Well, I just opened the door a little and you got a good dose of me. And I am the scent of my mama, and my mama was the scent of me. Like I said, that was a poem that I wrote for my mom, and that is how I described her to me. She was just a breath of fresh air. She left her mark Even though she died at a very young age, she left her mark with all of us. And we share that. We share that with our kids now. We share that with our grandkids. So Leona Burchett will not be forgotten. Nor will my father, Clyde Burchett. My father had problems growing up, and yet he kept a roof over our head. He kept food on our table. And he was the best that he can be. And my mom forgave my father for what had happened in the past. And so by her forgiving him, that lifted a lot of pressure off my father's heart after my mom died, because I know there was a lot of guilt there that, you know, my father had to endure, that only he could take that himself, or he could live with that. And throughout my father's life, he just tried to do good and be a better person, and he really, really was. And I love both my parents, Leona and Clyde Burchett. Now the next part of my life came as my children was getting older, and I had been married for 18 years at this time. And it had gotten to a point where I was just in a marriage, we're roommates. We really weren't married. And I just felt that I wasn't going another day in that situation, in a loveless marriage, you know, and I needed something for me. I needed to be happy for myself. So I decided to go through with the divorce. And with me and my children in hand, we became stronger with each other, very supportive with each other, and my life changed. I only allowed good people in my life after that. Good people that had my back on things. When you surround yourself with good people, you're gonna get good out of it. And so my friends and family that I have now, my social network, these are all good people who I consider being friends. The next poem that I want to share with you is a fun poem. Actually, it's called Read the Signs. And I used to read this particular poem in church a lot. A lot of people wanted to hear it. And it just tells a story about passing judgment on your fellow man and what you shouldn't do. You know, you keep your eye on the prize, but you're supposed to give love and love and understanding to everybody, and not pass judgment on people. So this poem is entitled Read the Signs. I was traveling down the highway of life when a man approached me and said, "Now, before you go further, stop and read the signs ahead. There are signs posted throughout your life to help all sinners stay on the right road. Everlasting life would be mine," he said, "if I just read the signs and do as I was told." Now I thought for a while and said to myself, he must have the wrong person. You see, I'm a Christian, not a sinner, so those signs can't apply to me. So I continued to travel down the highway of life when I saw a woman on the same road. She was dressed like a hooker with men on both arms. How dare she, I thought. She had some nerves. This was the road to everlasting life, not low-life people like her. Now, I was just about to tell her to get off my road when another sign appeared. She stopped to read it, and with tears in her eyes, turned right off the road, and the men just disappeared. Well, I laughed to myself and said I was giving God a helping hand, getting rid of all these undesirable sinners. I knew my reward would be grand. And feeling real good about myself, with my head held up high, I continued to travel down my highway of life. Then a homeless man approached me with his hand held out. "Get a job," I screamed. "God hate lazy people like you. Why, if I gave you money, you spend it on booze and alcohol, not food. So get off my road. This road is for heavenly bound people, not people like you." Again, another sign appeared, and he stopped to read the sign and turned right off the road. Again, I felt good. Look, like I said, I was giving God that helping hand, all right? I was making sure that everybody on my road was the same as me. We didn't waste precious time reading those signs posted for us to see. Now, I continued to travel until my road ended. And there before me, open wide, was a big red gate. And inside the gate, I heard sounds of moaning and crying. Wait just a minute, I shouted. Hey, this must be a mistake. Hey, you have a Christian, not a sinner, standing at this front gate. All the sinners read the signs and turned right off the road. The pearly white gates I'm supposed to behold. Just then, another sign appeared, and I couldn't believe my eyes. The sign simply said, "You did not read the signs that were posted while traveling down the highway of life. They told you to turn right off the road if you wanted everlasting life. But see, you were too busy passing judgment on your brother's sins. So welcome a Christian into the lion's den." That's one of my favorite ones right there. Like I said, I always get a lot of requests for that one. And so I just wanted to share with you today, like I said, a little bit of me. I wanted to take you inside my heart. And if if any of these poems remind you of something might have happened in your life, hey, we then walked in the same path. Right now, I'm doing great. I haven't been in a better place in my life, before. Like I said, I'm surrounded by good people, good friends. I just finished writing a few more poems to go into my book. And I will be directing and producing my first stage play, which is entitled "He Went Peacefully in His Sleep." And that's going to be done on June the 16th at Old Dominion University. Now, if you want more information about this fantastic play, please give me a call at 757-975-1294, or you can reach me at Rear View Mirror Productions, and that's at hotmail.com. This is going to be a great play. It has a great story that you will connect with. It's all about one man's fight with his conscience. Now, we all have consciences, so this is going to be this one character's fight with this conscience. There's a lot of music. There's a lot behind it, and I just want you to know that if you're interested, please give me a call back. Again, thank you so much for joining me, and I'm so glad I had this opportunity to share with you my story.